everyone, you're learning linguistics and literature with Imran. In our previous lectures, we learned cognative and subordinative conjunction through acronym such as fanboys and swabbies. And in today's lecture, we will learn conjunctive adverb through acronym THAMOs. So let's learn what are conjunctive adverb that we can use acronym THAMOs. So here we have THAMOs. So T stand for therefore, H stand for however, A stand for also, M stand for meanwhile, and O stand for otherwise. So it doesn't mean that we have only these conjunctive adverbs. We have also more, but you can learn these conjunctive adverbs through using acronym THAMOs. So let's learn more about conjunctive adverbs. Conjunctive adverbs. Conjunctive adverbs, also called linking adverbs or connecting adverbs, or a specific type of conjunctions. As we know, conjunctions are used to join together words, phrases, or clauses. So conjunctive adverbs are specifically used to connect two independent clauses. Remember, conjunctive adverbs are used to connect two independent clauses. Because we learned in our previous lecture about swabbies that subordinative conjunction joins one dependent and one independent, right? And here we are learning that conjunctive adverbs are used to connect two independent clauses. So independent clause or independent clauses are such clauses which can stand alone as sentences. Let's learn more about conjunctive adverbs. An independent clause, which is also called a main clause, contains a subject and a predicate. So an independent clause can stand alone as a sentence and it expresses a full thought. So what is an independent clause? An independent clause can stand alone as a sentence and it expresses a full thought. In other words, it can stand on its own and make sense as a complete simple sentence. For example, Leila hadn't enjoyed the play. So it is one clause which is called an independent clause, and it can stand alone and it gives us a complete sense or a complete thought. She didn't recommend it to her friend. We have another clause. It is also independent clause because it also expresses a full thought. So this example shows two independent clauses. The first contains the subject Leila and the predicate hadn't enjoyed the play, while the second includes the subject she and the predicate didn't recommend it to her friend. So most often a sentence consists of two parts, or we can say a clause consists of two parts. One is subject and one is predicate. Here we have a subject she. Here we have a subject Leila, and hadn't enjoyed the play, it's a predicate, and didn't recommend it to her friend, it is a predicate. So the concept of predicate in grammar is different than the concept of predicate in semantic. If you want to know what is predicate in semantics, so please watch our videos on predicate and referring expression. You can go to playlist and click on semantics, right? So we will discuss more on coming slide. Each clause expresses a complete idea and makes sense of its own, as we learn here, right? That Leila hadn't enjoyed the play and she didn't recommend it to her friends, right? Now, however, they would sound more natural if they were connected. So we can connect these two independent clauses with the help of conjunctive adverbs. So this is where conjunctive adverbs come in. For example, Leila hadn't enjoyed the play. Therefore, she didn't recommend it to her friend. So here we connect two independent thoughts, or here we connected two independent clauses with the help of conjunctive adverb therefore, as we learned in the beginning in THAMOs. T stand for therefore. So the two independent clauses are now connected in a more natural way using the conjunctive adverb therefore. Punctuating the clauses. How can we punctuate independent clauses when we use conjunctive adverbs? Let's learn. When we join two independent clauses with the conjunctive adverbs, they are traditionally separated with a semicolon. Remember, not comma, not colon, but semicolon. As in our example above, as we learn here, you can see Layla hadn't enjoyed the play. Here we have a semicolon. Therefore, and then it is comma. She didn't recommend it to her friend. So when we use conjunctive adverbs, so before the conjunctive adverb, here we use a semicolon, and after the conjunctive adverb, we use a comma here, right? So, as an example above, it is also acceptable to use a period and keep them as two discrete sentences. So you can also use here a period. For example, you can say Layla hadn't enjoyed the play, and then here a full stop or period. Therefore, and then comma, she didn't recommend it to her friend. So both ways are acceptable. You can use semicolon or you can use here full stop, right? So either way, the conjunctive adverb typically begins the second clause. So typically, conjunctive adverb is used as a second clause, not first clause, followed by a comma. As we learn here, it's a second clause followed by a comma. We will examine alternative placement of the adverb later in this section. We will also learn how can we use conjunctive adverbs alternatively. However, we cannot separate the two clauses using a comma. So we can use a semicolon, we can use a period or full stop, but we can't use a comma to separate two independent clauses. For example, Layla hadn't enjoyed the play, semicolon, therefore, comma, she didn't recommend it. So this sentence is correct because here a semicolon is used. And Layla hadn't enjoyed the play. Here we have a period or full stop. Therefore, comma, she didn't recommend it. Is also correct. So you can use either a semicolon or you can use either a comma. Third example. Layla hadn't enjoyed the play, comma. Therefore, comma, she didn't recommend it. So this is incorrect because you cannot connect two independent clauses by using a comma, right? And using then conjunctive adverb. This is important, right? That you can even use comma, but if conjunctive adverb is not there. But when we are using conjunctive adverbs and we want to connect two independent clauses, then we cannot use a comma. This keep in mind. Because you can also connect two independent clauses by using coordinating conjunction. But that is coordinating conjunction. And here we are talking about conjunctive adverbs. So when using conjunctive adverbs, then we cannot use a comma. We will use either a semicolon or we will use a period or full stop. So if we choose to separate the two clauses with a period, we must remember to capitalize the conjunctive adverb as we can see here. Period is here. That's why we capitalize the conjunctive adverb, right? Since it is the first word in the new sentence. So here after semicolon, we do not capitalize the first letter. But after a period, we capitalize the first letter. And comma is also used here after conjunctive adverb, and comma is also used here after conjunctive adverbs. So thank you so much. It was all about conjunctive adverbs, and we learned conjunctive adverbs by using acronym THAMOs. So I hope that you enjoyed these acronym, because first we talked about fanboys, and then we talk about swabbies, and now we talk about THAMOs. So we will learn more grammar through such kind of acronyms. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the channel, and please also provide your valuable comments. Thank you so much.